All right, we are live, and I actually have to click one more button today to go live. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Let's see. All right. Oopsie, I think that might have not worked. Live video. Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. Hang in there. I am my own tech person. I am still looking for someone who can help me with this tech. I'm trying to go live, going live, streaming software, go live. All right. Well, never mind. We're not even going to attempt that today. We were trying to go live on Instagram for the first time today. And apparently, I'm going to need a little more tech help with this. So that's okay. We're still streaming live on 7 platforms simultaneously. And so, all of you who are watching, welcome. Welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show. Aloha. I'm your host, Savvy, and the founder of Give Me a Break. Give Me a Break is a nonprofit organization that's caring for caregivers, and we are here to bring back the joy of caregiving. And each week, we are here to help caregivers to survive. And survive is indeed what we need to do. With 50% of all caregivers passing before the one they care for, we are high at risk. Now, you all know that other statistic, and I'm going to say it every show, 70% if you are 70 and older. So we need to do something. We need to act. Caregivers need to survive this. Caregivers need all the support they can get. And the Caring Caregiver Show is here to bring resources to you and connect you with people that care, and they're caregivers themselves. You're not alone. You have a community. And if you need more information, go to our website at gab808.org, right there on the bottom of the screen, and at gab808.org, or just text us if you need something right away and it's an emergency. Go to 808-754-3787. And again, that phone does get passed around, so we will get response to you as soon as possible. You can always send us an email at info@gab808.org. I do get those right away. That actually is the quickest way for a response. So there's your information right there on the screen. And for those of you listening on podcast, again, it's gab808.org, or text 808-754-3787, or just info@gab808.org. I know you guys are frustrated. I know you're tired. Take a moment for you. We're here for you. All right. And we offer you a break. Actually, every single week you can have a break. Let me get this. Yeah, it's the right screen right there. And that's at our support sessions, and they're online. So really convenient for you. You don't have to get up and go anywhere. You can just sit right there, sit next to your carry while they're snoozing away or eating, and get your earbud in and listen and put it right on your Zoom on your phone, and just join a community. You don't even have to have you can mute, you can turn your video off. It doesn't matter, whatever your comfort zone is. We're just a bunch of caregivers, just like you. No psychologists here, nothing fancy, just a room and a safe space for caregivers. And you can do that every Tuesday at 2:00 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, or at 8 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Now, if you're in the Central Standard Time for our Houston chapter, that's at 7 p.m. in the evening for you. So we have all kinds of ways for you to connect, and times. Every Tuesday evening, count on it. We're here for you, and it is your safe space. All right. And of course, the Caring Caregiver Show is sponsored by Givers Guides Magazine. And Givers Guides Online Magazine is a magazine for caregivers, by caregivers, with a caregiver's point of view. And this month's issue is, let's get that up there. Oh, I'm just doing so good now. This month's issue is celebrating Men's Health Awareness Month. So it's all about you guys. 45% of all caregivers identify as male. And so that's a lot. That's a lot more than people might think. And these are caregivers who are caring for another female. And that's really tough, like a mother or a sister or a wife or daughter or even a friend. That's such a challenge when they are unable to, say, move or care for themselves. It's really a tough thing to do. Anyway, caregiving is tough. Add to that they're caring for someone else. So big hugs to all the sons and fathers and brothers and husbands out there. We see you and we support you. So, guys, get your subscription. Go now to giversguides.com. This month is all about you, but every month, of course, there's great articles for self care and wellness that you may not be thinking about and that you can do in a moment. And know that all those profits do go to Give Me a Break. All right. That's enough yakking for one day, I say. It's episode 4 of season 12. I'm so honored to be able to present this show to you and to present our guests today because this is all about you. This whole season is about you. You don't want to miss a single episode. So let's get on with the show. My first guest is a journalist, a wife, and mother of 4 who shares her experience of being thrown into becoming her husband's caregiver while simultaneously trying to maintain their life, their family, and their marriage. And she has written a book called On My Way Back to You. I'd like to welcome Sarah Cart. Please welcome Sarah. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the show. Great to
Aloha.
have you
Thank you.
here. There we
Thank
go.
you.
Look at that. I clicked everything and it got on. How are you today?
I am well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I just, when I was made aware of your book, and I thought just that title, On My Way Back to You, and I know how hard it is to keep relationships going without chaos. You know, the things like kids and bills and all of that. You expect that in a marriage, in a relationship, but when you throw caregiving into the mix, it completely, or illness of any kind, and you may not know, but my better half has cancer as well. So it's like just that whole experience changes the dynamic of everything. And so I love your book, and On My Way Back to You is just such a wonderful thing that you've done to share and help support others. But tell me first, just tell us all a little bit about your caregiving journey.
Well, Ben and I have a love story. Ben is my husband, and in 2017 he was diagnosed with an incurable autoimmune disease, and it was pretty gradual. Over the course of a few years, I finally realized I was his caregiver, and then 5 years in, he was sick enough that the doctors said he needed a heart transplant. And so we were working on getting him onto the list, and we had not succeeded when he went into kidney failure and was very obviously dying, and he ended up in the emergency room. The challenge at that point was that this was 2 weeks after the world had shut down with the COVID pandemic, and I could not visit him. He was in the hospital. Uh, I was dependent, he and I both were dependent on the healthcare people to help facilitate our communications. And he was gone for 10 weeks. He did get a heart transplant. He did come home. That's when I finally saw him again. In an unexpected twist, about a week after he got his transplant, they discovered he had a broken hip. So that when he did return home and we were together again for the first time, he was in a wheelchair.
Wow.
Um, and so he went from having the 24/7 undivided attention of medical personnel and janitors and 3 hot meals a day at the same time every day to having me as his sole
Having
caregiver.
me.
Yeah. It was 0 to 60 for me and quite the
Yeah.
shock for him. But we worked it out one day at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time, but we got through what was a bit of an ordeal.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, it's one of the um, hurdles for transplant patients. He made the 6 month um, with still in good health,
Yeah.
despite several.
It's like a landmark 6 months.
Yeah,
You have
right,
to get to
exactly.
that point, right?
So yeah, the words escape me at the moment,
That's
but
okay. Congratulations on that. So,
yeah, we were very, very lucky.
wow, wow. So, what prompted you to, of all the things, and this is why I loved your title and your book so much, was because when it comes to caregiving, in all honesty, there are so many directions you can go in. When it comes to telling your story, sharing your story, or looking for some, what prompted you to do this, to talk about On My Way Back to You, getting back to you?
Well,
Tell us
the
about
title
the inspiration.
itself The title itself is a shorthand that he and I have used for years. When you're out doing errands and can you stop at the bank or can you stop at the post office? Where are you? I'm on my way back to you. So when he actually went to get into the ambulance and leave that night, he said, "Don't worry, I'll be on my way back to you soon." So,
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
so that was where it started, and then actually writing the book was a way for me to process everything we had been through. I'm not the kind of person who's comfortable with a fail, like not knowing that my husband had a broken hip.
Yeah,
Um, or not being able to get him onto the transplant list. So those kinds of things I needed to work through that those mistakes, and there was a lot more to those mistakes than just that, but that they turned out so miraculously well, kind of makes me rethink my judgment of mistakes that I make as
yeah,
I go through each day.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's an amazing and an amazing story. And I know you and I had kind of had a pre-talk before this, and I just felt like we related on so many levels. There were so many things that I could relate to in your caregiving experience. And I always believe that the universe kind of sends me people anyway, that we're sort of kindred spirits in that way, that we're going through the same thing. But what advice would you, coming out of it now and having shared your story, and what would you kind of say to caregivers out there who are going, they're in the thick of it. You know where they are. They're at that
yeah,
point.
yeah, don't hide your vulnerability, and to be open about it, be willing to accept help from people. People aren't always sure how to offer help. Sometimes they don't know the right thing to say, so there are awkward moments. You just need to be forgiving of that. You need to not engage in smoke and mirrors. Don't pretend that things aren't as bad as they are. Um, uh, Try not to exaggerate or sugarcoat what you're going through when you tell people about it, because you don't want to ever have to walk it back.
Yeah,
You want people to be on the same page.
yeah,
Um, and be forgiving of yourself. Like I said, I did it from 0 to 100 when he came home, and I made a lot of mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. It's a steep learning curve, and even if you know what you're doing, you're going to make mistakes.
yeah.
Just learn from them and move on, and tackle the next thing, because there will be a next thing.
I
So
love that. That is some of the greatest that's the greatest things that can be said, and I think that I know I sat there as a caregiver myself going, "Oh, okay, need to check that one off. Nope, not I missed that one." And that was a great checklist, and I know that there are other caregivers who will hear that, and check the list, you guys, because that's amazing advice, and an amazing share, really is what it is. And this is something we talked about in our support group about a month ago too. Is we decided it was all about acceptance, right? And all about accepting help. And so I decided that from now on, caregivers are not going to, we don't need help. We're not going to ask for help. We don't want to ask for help anyway. So this just takes the whole acceptance thing out of the window. Now you're going to be the CEO of your caregiving journey, and you're going to delegate to people. So no longer do you have to ask for help. You're going to delegate to people what to do. You're the boss. You call the shots. So we kind of empowered ourselves to do that. And the results have been pretty amazing. And I think that, like what you said, it's all a state of mind. We don't have to play the victim. We don't have to sugarcoat something. It's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. That's a sign of your strength, and see the positive in it. So thank you for sharing that. I love that. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to share with us today?
yeah, it's a you are going to get through whatever it is. You just need to put one foot in front of the other. Speaking of lists, it doesn't hurt to keep a list of things people can do for you. Um, if someone says, I'm really at loose ends, I don't know what I can do, give them your car keys and say, please go fill the tank. And give them your car keys and a $20 bill. Just let people help you.
Yeah.
So keep those lists. Keep in mind you can't control everything. Um, Find your escape valve. And sometimes you need to have a really small one that you can fit into a minute,
Yeah.
whether it's breathing or shredding a
Streaming.
piece of paper, or
Yes.
it just for me it's journaling. Sometimes it's just writing down the first half of the sentence because, oh, now I've just gotten called into the other room, and so I hope I'll remember when I come back that I
Yeah.
can complete that sentence and that thought, which is hopefully some sort of arc from the problem to a solution, or to being able to accept the solution.
Yeah.
So,
There's a great app if you have an iPhone, and if you did an upgrade, it actually is called Journal, and it's like a little butterfly, and you can see it on your apps on your phone. And if you don't have it, get it. But basically, you can just talk to your phone and journal, and it keeps track of all of that day by day. And it's one of the greatest things because you don't always, like you said, sometimes you might start writing something and forget. So
yes,
with it, you can just go back to it anytime, click the app open, and just talk to your app and start journalizing thing. And I think that's super important, not just to tell your story, but also to remember your story and
right.
remember all those, it's so easy to forget the pain sometimes, but the pain helps us grow. And I think it's important for you to be honest. And to be honest in a journal is a great thing.
It helps process stuff, and hopefully helps you land in a better place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree. I agree. Well, it's all in the book, and you guys can definitely go to onmywaybacktoyou.com. Is the easiest way to remember it. If you're looking at the screen, take a screenshot of that link, and also you'll be able to get it through our through the Caring Caregiver Show website. So don't worry, you'll always be able to do that, or just contact me and I'll give you a link to get to Sarah's website on mywaybacktoyou.com and get that book. Because I think, and I know, anytime we can come out of that darkness and educate ourselves and get in that learning zone, even if it's for a breath moment, even if you read a paragraph of something, and especially if you are reading something from somebody who's written from the heart, like Sarah has, it's going to get you through that moment. So check it out. And thank you so much for sharing that with us and for sharing your experience, because that in itself is courage. So really appreciate that, Sarah.
Thank you, Savvy. I appreciate it.
Oh, so thank you for coming on. Aloha.
Aloha.
All right. Wow. Wonderful. Yes. I want to say a big mahalo to Sarah for all that you do and for sharing that with us today. And, it isn't easy to share your story. We all know that it's a tough thing to do. It isn't easy to, I think one of the things that really strikes me that she said was, to be vulnerable. And anyone who knows me knows I am the tough chick. I can handle anything, and I don't always show my vulnerabilities. And so thank you, Sarah. I will be working on that. But mahalo for that. Okay, just another quick announcement, you guys. Up and coming. Mark your calendars, because guess what's coming? Our Shine a Light Walk will be here in just 25 days. It's only 25 days away. Have you registered? Well, you better. And also, you could get your team together, because here, guess what? If you get a team, three or more makes a team, you guys. If you get three or more in a team, dress up, and you're the best dressed, or we'll just draw, maybe we'll just put the ones that are dressed in a bowl and pick one out, you could win a pamper session for up to 20 people. Now that's an amazing prize to win. So definitely get it together and help us fundraise. We really need you to do that. Give Me a Break is going to benefit so much from all the money that we can raise for this Shine a Light Walk. And it's going to be at Magic Island, right here at Ala Moana Beach Park, right during sunset. Oh my God, you guys are going to get the best photos of the sunset. And we're definitely going to be shining that light, because the first 100 to register are going to receive a backpack, a reflective backpack, and your glow stick. So you're going to need that glow stick to shine that light and really show caregivers that you care. And if you can't be there in person, don't worry about it. If you can't be there in person, that's okay. You can walk virtually or walk in place, and you can still help us raise funds to support caregivers. So anything you can do is always a big help for us. And speaking of events, my next guest is actually the CEO and founder of Ohia Technology Group, the co founder of Action Digital Academy, and Tech Savvy Teens and the organizer of the Tech Savvy event coming up this Saturday, June 29th at the Windward Mall in Kaneohe from 10 to 2. Let me pop that flyer right up there for you while I've got it in flyer mode. So there we are. And, I'm going to tell a quick story. I know I want to welcome my next guest, but I'm going to have to tell this story. But it's so funny. You all know me. I'm savvy, right? And it's so funny how we got connected. This is such a meant to be moment. Was that, an email was sent to the mall about this event. And because they know me at Windward Mall, and we've had many events there, wonderful events. And the Windward Mall was our home at one point. We had our space there, and I miss them terribly. And I got an email from one of them, and it was like, hey, about your event coming up. And I said, what event? And they said, well, the Tech Savvy event. And I said, there's two V's in that savvy. And so I got connected with everyone else involved in this event. And it was one of the best things ever. So I'm super excited to be partnering with Tech Savvy Teens and with my next guest coming on right now, Wendy. Welcome, Wendy. Well, Wendy Duckrub and from Tech Savvy Teens. Hello, Wendy.
Aloha.
Hi.
Thanks for having me,
Aloha.
Savvy.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you on. It's so funny that story. I laugh every time. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like
was thinking about it. I'm like, oh,
people
that's
are
right.
like,
Maybe you
well,
need to add a double V to your name.
I know, right? I do. I know. I thought about that. And then I thought, no, then I'll get caught up in all kinds of other savvy things. And maybe they're
Yeah.
good, maybe they're not. But
Well, you be savvy.
savvy, the savvy event. I know. And there's actually a company out there called the Savvy Caregiver. So,
Oh,
I know. So then there you go. I'll have to get involved with that. But welcome, Wendy. Hi.
hi.
So I know you have a caregiving story, but also I want it noted that you are a caregiver to so many wonderful kids, and we'll talk about that in a second, and when we talk more about the event. But what caregiving stories have you had in your life?
Well, several actually. So,
Mhm.
because I'm a technology person, right? Somehow I always get involved in caregiving technology. Sorry, they're doing construction in our office, so I have to be a little bit
That's
mindful.
okay.
So first of all, my parents, right? A lot of them have my parents. They love to go to Best Buy, and they buy this technology that someone recommends, and then they call me, and I spend the next week trying to figure it out. Right? Because my mom is 78, and my stepdad is 75. So yeah, right. They go and they go to T-Mobile, and T-Mobile is upgrading their phones and selling them iPads, and they don't know how to use it. So that's how I really, really spent a lot of my time helping my parents, helping my aunties, my uncles with all the technology devices.
Yeah.
Um, Thankfully, they still, are doing well. I
Yeah.
am aware as the oldest in the family that I will be caregiving soon. So, it's nice to be home in Hawaii because I lived away for about 25 years. So
Yeah. Yeah.
being here and knowing that I will be able to support them is 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 what makes me feel good.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing too is, here you are. It's like, how you're always good at something. So you always have to like, if you're good at fixing things, you got to fix everything for everybody. If you're good at IT, you got to fix all the technical stuff, and so the last thing you would think is that's something you would do when starting a nonprofit organization, right? But instead, you decided, well, there's a lot of kids out there. So
Yes.
you started Tech Savvy Teens. So let's talk about this because this is caregiving at its most amazing, I really believe.
Yeah, so in my journey at Ohia Technology, we are a software development company. I do get a lot of requests for a lot of churches reach out to me for help with their technology during COVID specifically because a lot of the churches didn't know how to get their services online.
Mhm.
So that was the first time I was introduced to Koihao, for example, and a lot of big churches they just want to get so that their members could watch it on YouTube. So I'm introduced to this whole new demographic of people, mainly senior citizens, our kapuna.
Yeah.
And because of course, I know technology, I get more involved with helping the members. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I shouldn't be doing this, because I really think we have teens who can do a better job than what I can do.
Right.
Um, what I did notice, though, that I spend 10 minutes on actually fixing the problem and then an hour talking story. And I thought, you listen to these stories and you think, wow, if I could get teens or kids to listen to these stories, I wonder what kind of impact it would have. And so simultaneously, we run a tech school called Acton Digital Academy, and it's a homeschool co-op. We're based out here in Kaneohe. There's six, just so far. There's six students. We're quite small, um, and the idea is to get them to follow their passions. Right? We help them discover their passion. We teach them technology and use technology to help them discover that. So these kids are the actual starters of the program. They said, "Hey, we'll go to the churches. We'll help them out." So that was how that all started during COVID. We
Awesome.
connected the teens into the churches. The churches will organize rooms. Everyone's all masked up, and they were teaching or helping the seniors with
Yeah.
scams, how to avoid scams, how to do email. I mean, basic technology. So that's how Tech Savvy Teens started.
I just think it's amazing because, these kids would otherwise maybe not even succeed or maybe not even have these kind of opportunities. And
Mhm.
so giving them an opportunity to have sort of a career,
Mhm.
in that sense, that's an amazing thing as it is.
Yeah.
But also, some of my fondest memories, some of the best lessons I've had in my life came from listening to Kupuna. It came from those moments when you sat and you heard the stories
Yes.
and when you interacted. And
Mhm.
so many kids today don't have that anymore. They've
No.
lost touch with those stories, with the kupuna, with our history and with the culture and everything, and just life lessons, that you can embrace. And so being able to connect them to me is such an amazing thing, because yeah, they're helping them with the tech, but then they're listening to the stories, and that will change the trajectory of their entire life,
Yes,
because
and
it
it
changed
has.
mine.
It really has. I think, well, the students started back in COVID, and now they've turned it into. It actually started as they named it. We named it adults. E Kupuna. Like electronic Kapuna internet, and the kids are like, "That's so boring. Can we change the name?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." That's how Tech Savvy Teens started, right? For them,
I
it was
love
like, "How am I going to get other teens to volunteer with the name Ikupuna?" So they changed it.
Wow.
That's how the name
Wow.
started. And then yeah, they pretty much volunteer. And so at the time it was just volunteer, but now, but 3 years later, our nonprofit, Acton Digital Academy, also started writing grants. And the grants that we write are particularly to pay stipends to the students. So every time they go out and do a 3 hour session with a kupuna or many kupunas at senior homes, they get $50. So what I've got is, young teens who are so motivated now to work, but learning compassion.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to watch some of the students. Like, in fact, most of the senior homes, they look forward to the kids coming.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
see them like, "Oh, how are you?" They put snacks. They have events. There's so much care on both sides.
Yeah, yeah. You just don't see enough of that. And that connecting the young to the old is such an
It,
awesome thing, because, it keeps the older ones young too, and they feel that love and they feel wanted and needed. But
yes,
then the kids benefit from the story. And I can't emphasize enough again how much I hold dear from the stories I got. They changed me.
yes,
They made me a better person, and that's such a great opportunity for them. But also it puts money in their pocket, and they need that,
yeah.
and they
Especially
need to learn
nowadays.
how to use that, how to save that, how to channel
Mhm.
it, and that teaches so much. I love that you do that. And
Yeah.
so, with the academy and with this nonprofit. And so uh, then of course, because my name got caught up in it, and now we have an event.
And many,
So
many
Savvy's at
more.
the Tech Savvy event.
Yeah. Well, the idea, it was great to have it at a mall because I noticed when Kupuna Power was also there, and I didn't know you were there at Windward.
Yeah.
We do see a lot of seniors there, but you also see a lot of teens. So I
Right.
said, what a great opportunity to
Yeah.
connect teens to the Kupuna in their own communities, right? So right now we're rallying in the Windward section to get teens from the Windward area to support the senior living centers there or community
Right.
centers, and then move to Pro Ridge Mall and try and work with them to obviously just we really want to build this momentum
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
think,
we're even talking about maybe going around to different libraries all around
yes,
Oahu and some of the neighboring islands.
yeah.
So, yeah,
So
this
the
whole
goal is
thing
really
now
to
that's from
connect.
this trifecta we've connected between between you and Brickwood and Kupuna Power and
I think
Give Me
it's
a Break.
amazing.
So,
Yeah.
yep,
I mean, the
the
things that,
three-strand cord.
right. Well, like I said, I mean, just being connected to caregiving, and
Yeah,
I've never been involved in the last 6 months, so it's really nice to be introduced to. I didn't even know there was a community that supported caregivers, so that's really good to know. And yeah, very appreciative. I know that in the future we will do more things together because our students need mentors,
yeah,
not only Kupuna to tell stories, but I'll give you a real story where one of the teens are complaining like, oh, one auntie, she always smells really bad, you know, um, and so we asked Aloha Diaper Bank to come and talk about diapers, right? Because kids forget you start with a diaper and you end with a diaper,
I love
and they're
it.
like, wow, change their entire perspective. Like they're only thinking about themselves and what they don't really think about the other person and what the other person is going through at that age.
Yeah.
And I think that was profound.
And
Um,
Aloha Diaper Bank will be at this event as
uh,
well,
yeah,
and they're
that,
wonderful.
nice.
And I'll
Yeah,
tell you the quick story is that that's how this all kind of came about too. Was that this is the another connection? Is that I connected with Brickwood Galataria through Kupuna Power, and he had asked me to come on the show. And they, at the time that Kupuna Power was filming there at Windward Mall, and then he was turning the space over and letting go the space and turning it over to Aloha Diaper Bank. So I met the Aloha Diaper Bank team, and they're like, we don't need the whole space. You want to split it? And that's how Give Me a Break was able to have this wonderful space at Windward Mall. For a year, we were there with them. And, thankfully, of course, we're so happy for them. They got their big grant and they needed the entire space. So they needed the whole space. So we kind of went looking for a space, but we decided to just sort of go remote for a while. But it was such a wonderful time and it connected all of us together. And so I really believe all of these happenstances, or what is it? Lonnie, our COO, she always says they're um, not coincidence. They're God incidents, right?
I agree.
So,
I
yeah,
agree. It's the energy fields that are connecting, right? I mean, how we all got connected is amazing. I mean,
yeah,
truly.
yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm excited about this weekend's event. The students are excited. They're hoping that Kupuna will show up, right?
I
That's what I
think
think.
that, and there are a lot of kupuna that are always in the mall anyway. And we really had some great stories and experiences being there in the mall and seeing all the teens that were there too. There are a lot of teens there. There's a lot of kupuna. And so I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us to really connect with the community and be able to caregive for them.
Yeah,
So the teens will really learn, but also they'll be able to share and others will be able to, learn how to use their devices. And
right.
please, 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 if anything, get all of these caregivers to download their Zoom app, because then they can come to our support sessions and do that online as well. Because
Oh, yeah.
a lot of them are like, I don't know how to do that. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll be sending them to you.
they should. Yeah, it would be lovely. I'm excited to be at the mall. I would love to be there, permanently with this with the tech
Yeah,
support center just for the teens that are roaming around. Now they can
yeah,
work. They'll have a
yeah.
place to go after school and help Kapuna with, or anybody. It doesn't
Well,
This is not limited to Kapuna,
you
but
just put it out in the universe. So
yeah.
guess what? Tech Savvy Teens is looking for a home. What a great place that would be. And the Windward Mall is an amazing community. And
Mm,
so, yeah, look forward to that. I'm really excited. You guys, it's from 10 to 2 this Saturday at the Windward Mall, Center Court.
yeah.
Follow the music. Brickwood and his team will be, and all of his friends will be playing live music.
Mhm.
And we'll be taking up the whole center stage area. So, this, where Starbucks is and Victoria's Secret and Bath Beyond, right in the middle there, you guys. And we'll be there with some other resources as well for caregivers and for Kupuna. So come see us. Come see Wendy and I this Saturday, 10 to 2.
We'll be
Um,
there.
Yeah, super excited. Thank you for coming on and sharing and for all that you do. Really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Sandy. Thank you for having me.
Aloha. See you Saturday.
See you Sunday. Bye, everybody. Aloha.
Okay. Aloha. So, yep. So, mahalo, Wendy. And you know what you're doing for those teens is so inspiring. And gosh, I just can't wait. I'm super excited about this Saturday, you guys. Windward Mall, 10 to 2. Don't forget, be there. Let me just pop that flyer up one more time. Yeah, right there. There you go. I also want to encourage you to bring your tech devices. So if you've got a iPad or I don't know, notepad or Kindle or laptop or anything that you've been struggling with, even just your phone, bring it with you. Come. The teens are going to help you. You're going to have plenty of help. And we do have some other tech companies that'll be there as well. So don't worry. You can get all kinds of assistance and help with things that you need. We've got about 20 vendors that'll be there for you. And there's even going to be some giveaways. So, you definitely want to enter. You could win a free laptop. Okay, that in itself. Get up and be there. Go enter, okay? All right, so that's going to be really exciting. Super excited about that. And again, Tech Savvy Teens, thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Sarah, for being on and for sharing your story. It takes such bravery to be able to share your story and be vulnerable. And that is what I'm going to take away from this today, is that I'm going to work on that more and to be more vulnerable. So for those of you who are always giving me heat about that, I am working on it. And I really want to thank all of you for being on the show. And the show is brought to you by Give Me a Break. So we're here for caregivers. That's what we do. And if you need assistance, just go onto our website, gab808.org, and you can click on a button right there to get caregiver support. Fill that quick form out, do the quick survey, and someone will get in touch with you, and we'll see what we can do to give you the support that you need. And if anything, we can refer you to vetted, trusted resources that can be there for you as well. And it is sponsored by Givers Guides Online Magazine. Givers Guides Magazine, is written for caregivers by caregivers. So please subscribe. If we keep all of that coming, we can keep doing what we do. Now, the Care and Caregiver Show is really all about connecting you to those resources and community and for your wellness with survival as the goal. So keep watching us. Season 12 is just filled with so many amazing resources and really great events coming up. And for all of you, you can get everything you need right here, right? Get the information. You don't want to miss a single show. So put it in your calendar right now. Get it out your phone, get out your tech device, and go ahead and enter it in 12 o'clock noon every Wednesday. Just put it on there. And that's Hawaii time. So if you're watching from somewhere else or if you're listening to us from somewhere else, then it's okay. Yeah, you want to miss the live, maybe it's not a good time for you. You can always get the same episode about a week later on podcast. And thank you to all of you who have been downloading the podcast. Really appreciate that, because I really appreciate the feedback I'm getting from you. And we're doing our best to keep it all coming. So you can check us out on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, gosh, Google, any platform. Just type in the Care and Caregiver Show, or just go to our website. Click that up there, the careandcaregivershow.com. And you can click on any of the past episodes by listen to it on audio or watch the playback. And we are streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. So go to our YouTube channel as well, the Care and Caregiver Show on YouTube. And please like and subscribe. The more we get subscribers, the more we can get viewed by caregivers and we can be there for them. All right. Also, the last thing is, on Olelo TV 53, we're on. So the past seasons are on Olelo 53, and you can always see us there. Check our Facebook page. We always post when they're going to be on, and you can watch us on TV. So whatever you do, stay connected. Don't isolate. You don't need to do that. You got a whole community of caregivers here for you. Get connected, stay connected, and just go to our website for anything you need, or check us out on Facebook. And in the meantime, remember to breathe. Take that moment. One nice big breath, maybe two, maybe three, but take a moment for you. So here's hoping you're finding more joy in caregiving every week right here on the Care and Caregiver Show. Thanks for tuning in. And please always be kind to yourself and especially to those who care. Aloha, and see you all at the tech event this Saturday. Bye.